In 2017, Italian researchers inspected a painting of Saint Roch. The 14th-century Frenchman was said to have cured people of the plague and then contracted it himself. He is often portrayed with a bubo, a swelling on the upper leg of plague victims. The medieval painting was different. Saint Roch's leg shows a wound dripping with a long white goo. In the past, the strange filament was thought to be pus, but the recent study authors are convinced that it was a worm. The unknown painter did not use his imagination either. This is possibly the earliest representation of a graphic parasite called Dracunculus medinensis. Also known as the guinea worm, its larvae are ingested via infected water. After a year's incubation, things get horrifying. The person's leg blisters, and a worm up to 1 meter long 3 feet erupts through the skin. Though not fatal, it is an excruciating experience. Several discoveries in Spain suggest that Neanderthals were more fashion-forward than previously believed. The first came in 1985 at the Cueva de los Aviones, a cave site in Murcia. There, archaeologists uncovered a bunch of perforated shells which they say were strung up and worn as a necklace. Even better, these 50,000-year-old shells, along with a similarly aged scallop shell discovered more than 20 years later at another site in Murcia, still showed traces of red, orange, and yellow pigments. These pigments were made from minerals like charcoal, pyrite, and hematite. According to researchers, they were then applied to oneself like caveman body glitter. The Chinese terracotta army is world famous, but the lesser-known Ghanaian terracotta figures are equally packed with history. They were crafted by a mysterious civilization from the Koma land culture of northern Ghana. A recent biological scan reveals that these unknown people fostered extensive trade routes that crisscrossed Asia and Africa. During arcane rituals, the hollow figures were filled with various substances, like bananas, which were not locally available and might have come from Asia. Researchers also found DNA from grasses and pine trees imported from the opposite side of the continent. Boiled pine bark and needles is a medical concoction, so these rituals may have conferred health benefits. Archaeologists at a Bronze Age site in Yehud, Israel, found some basic funerary goodies including daggers, arrowheads, and animal bones offered to accompany a prominent Canaanite into the afterlife. They also found something way better, a ceramic jug topped with a clay figurine that resembles Rodin's famous The Thinker. The 3,800-year-old statuette is considered historically unique, along with some nearby Copper Age discoveries in modern-day Jordan. Like an irrigation system with terraced gardens, this suggests that an advanced civilization tamed this fatally uninhabitable land 6,000 years ago. The ancient Roman goddess Venus was the embodiment of love and sexuality. Her statues from the classical age are therefore representative of what sculptors of the time found most attractive. If the group of sculptures known as Venus figurines also show idealized womanhood, then stereotyped ideas of beauty have changed over the millennia. Jacqueline Kennedy watches her husband from backstage as he takes on Richard Nixon in their first televised debate in 1960. Army officers and politicians clamber over furniture to watch the signing of the Treaty of Versailles in 1919 at the end of World War I. Boston Marathon race manager Jacques Semple attempts to remove Catherine Switzer from the 1967 race, as her trainer Arnie Briggs intervenes. After her then-boyfriend Tom Miller body checked Jacques Semple out of the way. In a picture so iconic, it almost looks posed, Abraham Lincoln and General George McClellan in the general's tent at Antietam in 1862. Salvador Dali kisses Raquel Welch's hand after completing his still famous portrait of her in 1965. This is the last known photo Of the Titanic afloat, taken before its sinking in 1912. The Hollywood. Signed shortly after it was installed in 1923, as you can see from the photo, it originally read Hollywoodland. A Native American overlooks the newly completed Transcontinental Railroad in 1868. Norway receives its first ever shipment of bananas from 1905. Two very brave men record the iconic MGM Lion in 1929.